Born on a triplet, 6 feet down, and ain't no flip to me, the highest ground. And let me sing to you forevermore, show you what's best behind heaven's door. And when the fires and the winds are raging, and the darkness swallows up the sun, rest assured I will steal some holy water and exercise your demon. Hey, how you doing out there? It's the Bob on Bob's Blues and the news coming to you directly from Atlanta, Georgia. It's a little off the cuff, just telling you how I think about the world. What do I think is going on? Does anybody know for sure what's going on? I tell you, I have to clear my head because there's so much going on, and, it's hard to focus on everything. Like I said, it's off the cuff, my podcast. So, the first thing I'll tell you as I ramble is that song that just came on, Exercise Your Demons, I just released that today. Okay, so you can go to Spotify and all those streaming sites and listen to my tunes. So Exercise Your Demons, we need to do. And basically, I'll do the podcast around that theme. But yeah, I just wrote that song recently and I just released it today. And I'm building an album. They say that maybe that's the one way you can do it. I don't know. It's called waterfall technique. When you release music, you should do like a single, do one at a time. Don't release the album all at one time, all 18 songs or whatever. Just, one every month or two. A lot of people do it that way. I don't know. Maybe it pays off, maybe not. I don't know. So as far as this podcast goes and the world situation, the geopolitical landscape, there are a lot of demons, for sure, everywhere you look. In fact, I was just watching little Fox News. I took a break from my day job, and I went to look at the TV because I work at home. And they were talking about AI, how there's been a lot of cases this year of AI going rogue. It seems the machine has a mind of its own, which can be very dangerous. I think Facebook is getting sued right now because one of their AI agents went rogue and hacked into another company or something. And this happens all the time, it seems like. They will do what they need to do to get the objective finalized. And they don't have any morals or quorums about going rogue, hacking into other areas where they shouldn't go. And nobody's telling them to do this. They just do it themselves. So we're at a period right now with AI that they almost becoming demonic. The demon in the machine. Okay? So that's one demon we have to be careful about. And also, in the political landscape, there's so many demons. There's so many people who are caught up with this socialism, communism, globalism, and it's all very dangerous, too, because there are demons. I'm not saying literally there's like a dark angel. Maybe they're there, too, as well. Who knows? But there are people dealing in philosophies, theologies, creeds that are dark, okay? There was a podcast I listened to last night. These fellows were talking on the podcast, and I forget the name of the podcast. I apologize. But they were talking about Tucker Carlson and what does he believe? I mean, he's a Christian, but sort of an esoteric Christian, right? And he seems to be sympathetic with the Muslims, a lot more sympathetic to the Muslims than he is with Israel, that's for sure. And they mentioned this Rasputin type of guy who's written books called Alexander Dukin, and the first time I heard the name. Anyway, he's very much into this sort of esoteric, traditionalist, theological way of thinking, And they also mention another fellow who I'm familiar with, because as a young kid, I did study this guy. I read his books, called René Guénon. And it's a French Egyptian who was Catholic but converted to Islam. So in these teachings, in these esoteric writings, which you can discover for yourself, they talk about a tradition basically that goes all the way back to Adam. So it's pre-biblical, and it gets very much into the occult. Of course, the West is totally corrupt. And they had this notion, from what I gathered by reading it, that the world has been going downhill ever since creation, ever since Adam. And it's gotten worse and worse spiritually, further from the light, which is not the typical Christian approach or the Jewish approach, because, of course, the Christian approach is Jesus, who was the light, right? And so everything has maybe been going downhill since Jesus was crucified. Where in the Jewish perspective, they believe that the light is always there and that you can use progress, you can use modern technologies, and you can live in the modern world and still worship the true God and still see the light. Where in this esoteric, traditionalist kind of theology that Tucker seems to be interested in, and he's getting into the occult, basically. It's been going downhill since Adam, and that's why America is so evil, because it's the epitome of Western civilization, has gone so far away from the Garden of Eden that there's no hope except maybe totally destruction and starting all over. So you can see how he's playing with these theories that are in line with a lot of Islamists and as well as socialists and communists. And maybe it's a globalist kind of way to think about it. He was bad about Trump going to Iran and not being really mega and nationalist, but Tucker Carlson is not nationalist either. He is very much into this globalist, esoteric voodoo land. I don't know how you describe it, but it's dealing with the occult, and it's very dangerous. And there are demons, real or imagined, there. So that's another aspect of this theme of exercising your demons, like my song. We have to get rid of these demons. Some of this stuff looks very, very intriguing at first when you first read it, and very interesting, and you sort of fall into it, because I've read a lot of this literature into this way of thinking, more or less pseudo-occult or whatever you call it. And it does sort of make sense at first, Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in this world, people not behaving like they should behave, there's a lot of immorality, too much materialism, people are not spiritual enough, et cetera, et cetera. But it totally erases what's good about our society. The whole Judeo-Christian traditions that this country is built upon, our founding fathers, what they went through and what they what they preached, more or less, which made this country so great. It's been one of the greatest civilizations, and not the greatest civilization ever on the planet. So to say it's all bad, it's all evil, we have to totally destroy it and go back to the Garden of Eden, that's going into La La Land, But these people take it very seriously, some of these people, like René Guénon, Alexander Dugin, Tucker Carlson, and his clan. And now they're becoming very, very powerful within the Republican Party. In fact, they want to start their own party against MAGA. And maybe that's one reason why Trump is having such a hard time dealing with Iran. Really going all out. It seems like people say, well, we don't want to get into a forever war. It seems like we're in a forever war now, this tit for tat war. So we're in sort of like a forever tick, how do you say it? Yeah. Tit for tat or something like that. That war is going on, it seems like forever, because, Iran will do something and America will attack them. Then they'll say, oh, no, we've got a peace agreement. And then Iran will do something bad and they'll attack them again. It's been going on and on, for months and months now. Ever since February, when they made the initial big strike, they should have continued, in my opinion. But I understand there's a lot of pressures from the economy. I mean, the stock market has been booming. I don't know if the middle class really feels it. I don't know if Main Street really feels it. But if you're in the stock market, you're doing well, you know. And Trump's been trying to keep the oil prices down with everything going on, with the problem with the Strait of Hormuz. So he's got a lot of pressures. I'll give him that. But I think he's being swayed too much by the wrong influencers. Anyway, that's my take for this Friday, which is, we're in August already. My gosh, time flies. August the 7th. So have a good Friday. TGIF day. Thank God it's Friday. I'll chill out starting tonight and tomorrow because it's my Shabbos. And have a great weekend. Stay cool. Stay calm. Don't panic. God's in charge. But it's a very interesting world we live in. No doubt about it. And I'll just go on out, continuing with my tune that's been released today, right? Exercise Your Demons. Check me out on Spotify, etc., etc. I'm here to tell you, it's all in your mind. So be careful what you believe. Too many madmen preaching the devil's creed. And when the fires and the winds are raging, and the darkness swallows up the sun, rest assured I will steal some holy water, exercise your demons. I've got to low down on the dark side. Know what you sacrifice for fun. I'll never stop your laughing. I'll exercise your demons. Insecure, but my love's enough that you can endure. The truth is there in front of your face. I'll be your angel, baby, your saving grace. And when the fires and the winds are raging, and the darkness swallows up the sun, rest assured I will steal some holy water and exercise your demons. And the darkness swallows up the sun. Rest assured I will steal some holy water and exercise